Hello everyone and welcome to a bit of a low budget talk about recent happenings over on the HubNut channel. This is just a quick HubNut, it's very quick and dirty, but I wanted to talk about tyre pressures because I'm taking Betty out. Betty hasn't moved for a while, we better check her tyre pressures having learnt our lesson. Ellie has a slow puncture, so we're going to check that, and I'm going to work out whatever Bob's pressures are and double check those as well because I've forgotten what they're meant to be. So lots to do. We have some items. We have my trusty gauge. I do trust this gauge, so we're going to use that. And I've just bought a new double barrel pump from Argos of all places. So we got that delivered. It's less than 20 quid. And I have also ordered a Ryobi inflator. I've got some Ryobi stuff here. There's an angle grinder that someone has sent us very kindly. And we've got this. So that's not going to charge a tyre, but you can get a device that kind of looks like this and is a tyre inflator that uses the standard Ryobi batteries. So not sponsored, just people have been very kind and actually sent us some Ryobi stuff, which is awfully decent of them. So I thought, well, I'll get a Ryobi pump and it'll work with the batteries. We've got a cordless option there. Somewhere in all the chaos, just down there, we have actually got a larger compressor, but it's really unwieldy. The gauge on it is woefully inaccurate. You have no idea what you're inflating to. And while you should always check it with a proper gauge anyway, it's just a bit annoying that you're really utterly clueless with that thing. But yeah, we're going to start with doing the Subaru. It's raining. I'm going to go and do that now. So the Subaru does actually need a bit of air, as you can see. I think the pressure is meant to be 32, or is it 31? Here we go. Here's the guide. Oh, it should be a mere 29 on the front, 26 on the rear. So we're actually over these figures anyway. So I'm going to have to reprogram this because as you can see it's going off at 28. So that might be one reason for the firm ride. That is considerably over. It should be 29 and 26. We have driven some distance, but I can tell you now it was reading those figures when I left home. Possibly 31 on front left. So we might actually end up dropping those down a bit. But it'd be interesting to see where my gauge thinks it is. So it reckons driver's front is 31. And my gauge reckons 32. That's not encouraging. One of them is out, so that's even higher than it should be. Actually, I might leave the pressures there because of course it's on larger wheels, lower profile. So it probably is meant to be a few psi higher than the factory recommendation because it's not on the wheels. That factory recommendation is 4. This is the problem when you start modifying stuff. Everything goes out the window really. So even though it's just a wheel change, because they're larger, different sidewalls, those tyre pressure figures aren't the best. But still, it's an interesting experience. I'm then going to go around Betty and we'll see where Betty is. Betty's meant to be 30, I think, or 29. Here we go. Which seems ridiculously low. Yeah, 30 as normal, up to 34 and 40 if you're under load. So there we go. Rated tow bar capacity 1600. I suspect she's towed more than that in her time, but the tow ball itself on Betty is rated to 1500. But the car with an electronic braking system, I think can tow 2 tons in Australia, which is just insane. Imagine the economy. None. So let's see where we are. Oh, you see, we're down at 25 on that one. I think there's a slow puncture on this wheel. I have got a replacement wheel. I'm very sorry, Adrian. I still haven't got around to fitting it. But it will happen, especially as Tim at Cambrian Classics can now do tyres. So we will make that happen because this is a painted wheel, whereas all the others are actually diamond cut, believe it or not. They're just very, very scruffy. So this is a good chance to find out if my new foot pump is accurate at all. I might need 2 hands to come over it. Oof. There we go, we're on. And yeah, it's actually under reading a bit, so I'm going to have to go up to more like 32 on this. And then we'll check it with the more accurate gauge. I like having a gauge. Oh, blimey, that requires a shove. 2 barrels. But, oh my god, that's going up really quick. Yeah, look, we're at 28 already. Wow. I have actually found my electric pump. My electric pump is just over there. But A, I need the exercise, and B, I need to test my new pump to make sure it actually works. And it's hard work, but it's good. And being a double barrel, it's nice and flat as well and stable. The single ones tend to fall all over the place. Right, here we go. Oh, there you go. Oh, get it nice and square. Yeah, that could come up a little more. It's just below 30 as I'm looking at the gauge. I'll give it another couple of pumps. Now Ellie has a leak on this wheel, so this keeps dropping down. Oh, look at that. She's been sat here now down to about 14 psi. Let's see how the pump compares. And another reason, oh, even lower, just over 10. Another reason for going for the pump, and why I like this gauge, nothing electric. So if batteries run flat, not an issue. Ellie's recommended pressure is 20 on the front. I actually like to go a little bit higher, because otherwise the sidewall deflection tends to be really strong. So if I'm just going up to 22, maybe even 24, it does help. 26, you start getting a bit too hard. By the way, I've got a present for Betty now in the form of this single CD player to replace the multi-stacker one she's got. So she's got this big multi-stacker unit, but sadly the CD has never worked the whole time we've owned the car. So at some point we'll have a go at fitting that. And this compressor is still available if anyone would like it. It comes with some accessories, various bits and bobs. It is very, very heavy, and as you can see, quite big, but we don't need it. It was a kind donation, but it uses three-phase electricity. We've never had three-phase electrics. The electrics in here are a bit minimal, shall we say. So yeah, does anyone want this? I'm going to say free to a good home, as long as, well, it doesn't even have to be a good home. Free to a home. Comes with quite a lot of hose, and like I say, there's various bits and bobs with it as well. We just want the thing gone, preferably to someone who can actually use it. But I'm going to say, I'm very impressed with this Guild double barrel foot pump from Argos. The gauge actually seems quite accurate. When you get up to the pressure you want, and then you take it off and you apply an actual gauge, they seem to tie up quite nicely. So that's good. So if you're roadside and all you've got is this, I think you can take it as fairly close to gospel. Really happy with that. Feels very substantial, doesn't wobble about underfoot. It does require some effort, but yeah, nice bit of kit that. So Ellie's at the correct pressure, Betty's at the correct pressure. I mean, it is a low pressure for a big hefty car, and a lot of people think the tyres look far too squashy, but 30 psi is what the label says on the side. So that's what we're going to go with. And I mean, that front one looks really squashy because it's got all the weight of the engine on it, and she's slightly downhill. But it's at 30 psi, it's right where it should be. So there we go. I think we're going to get Betty out for a few days and put the Subaru away, because someone forgot it's run out of MOT. So that will go away until we can get it in for an MOT, and perhaps get the rocker covers looked at, because I think they may be leaking straight over the exhaust. But right, car swap. I was going to get Ellie out today. Sorry, Ellie. The weather is crap. So I think you're better off in here, love. So there we go. We can just about fit the Subaru in front of Ellie and the Pajero. Bob now up here. Betty purring out here, ready to have a few days use, because she hasn't seen much use lately. Ooh, no you don't. We don't want that door flying into Betty. I don't think it will. I mean, it came past me, but still, don't pay to trust these things too much. But yeah, we're going to see family next weekend. In fact, we've got a lot of family stuff going on next weekend, so I think having the big barge might be useful. Bella de Bolingo, the car you're all amazed I would keep over a Subaru Forester, needs more expenditure. So we might use Betty. But yeah, this one, we've provisionally got a deal done on this, but we went out in it the other night and it started smoking really badly under the bonnet, so we need to get some things looked at. but it is provisionally sold. I know some people have been inquiring already, but yeah, we think that one's provisionally sold. More on that once it happens. Don't like to say anything until everything's 100%, but that's certainly what we're aiming for. So I'm going home in Betty. Until... Oh, an addendum. Notice this headlamp bulb was out. Just put new bulb in, and the clip off the back of it has just dropped somewhere down there. Bloody marvellous. So another quick job, gone in an instant. Well, I got the clip back out using my magnetic pickup friend. Now I've just got to try and steer it back in to the headlamp down there where you can't really see. It's going to be fun. Well, this escalated somewhat. This is the clip, and it's a right fiddly little thing. You ping it undone, you see. You'd think it had just opened, but no, it falls out. It doesn't pivot. It doesn't seem very well held in there. So trying to do this when you can't see where it's meant to go is an utter pain in the backside. What a half-assed design. I have a feeling this isn't the first time I've had to remove a headlamp to get that clip before, because I remember now that someone has never fitted the bottom mount. It should bolt there, and conveniently it doesn't, which makes it a lot easier to get off. But nonetheless, we're in. So that's good. And what is that? That was like headlamp leveling, but it doesn't have. It should have it, because it's a tow vehicle after all, and it would be very useful. Nonetheless, it doesn't actually seem to have any. So yeah, not sure about that. That's your main beam. Then we've got the indicator here. I mean, while it's off, I could give it a buff. No, it's not. It's just going to go back on, because I'm only meant to be popping up here for 5 minutes, and this is already going very badly wrong. Oh, hello. This looks like it might not be Betty's original headlamp. That looks like scrapyard writing if ever I saw it. AU Fairmont gear. She isn't a gear, so it's definitely not off Betty. Interesting. Have you had some history we don't know about, old girl? Thanks for watching this little hub notes. I've now got tyre pressure solutions, and I will keep a closer eye on them. Bye.